Yep. Oh, this is interesting. These guys are not mining this titanium, despite the fact that this guy, this here looks potentially to be an interesting bug. Somehow this guy has got the lock on this titanium moon, and these guys are not mining at all. Very interesting. You can see that in the process of exploring, Beat2k10 is going to try to take a stab at the middle. This expansion flanked by all these dangerous nebulas. And the fact that the wormhole opens up right into this expansion also adds an interesting element to this mid-ground here. So in the meanwhile, Ankarua looking to tech up into Laval's, and you'll notice that the mining, there's not a lot of mining immediately. Again, limited to 2 pairs right off the bat. However, I will say that Ankarua has not expanded. Granted, this is just a friendly game, so not overly competitive. But since he hasn't expanded, his opponent is going to actually out-resource him, and Beat will be able to eventually outpace him. Before I speak too soon, 4 Griffins decloak on the Klingon Tritanium expansion, making a name for themselves and pretty much tearing this stuff up. And you can see what they're doing here is they're trying to manually target this guy. One of the things that you want to do if you're trying to manually target, you'll need to move ahead a little bit, because otherwise if you say attack a target, it sort of has this jerky attack rate, and they just need to come in and finish that guy off. Watch out for any cloaks. There are no cloakers in the area quite immediately. Oh, here are 4 Cavorts and the Romulans, feeling very nice about their raid, decide to cut their wins and cloak out. That is a smart play by Ankarua here. A lot of use of Griffins. I don't see this a lot. Managing just to waltz right in here. We'll see if he decides to move down into this mining here. Again, it having the shield disruptive nebula, and that would be very easy for this guy to raid this guy. Oh, but they are going to come in the background here and raid on the Tritanium. So managing to get another kill off here right now. They now need to back off. They are going to, oddly enough, the Klingons look to have gone up to the top, so Beat2k10 looking perhaps to expect the raid to happen another place, and the kill not getting out. Cavort comes up as these Griffins move off. This Cavort is going to try to come up, but it is getting heavily damaged. These guys are managing with 29 offense, and they have found this mining area that is going to disable the shields. Oddly enough, they are unable to attack into it. So these guys, if they ran in here, they would be able to... Oh, and wow, the Griffins being used in mass. This guy needing to duck in here, managing to cloak out, but the Cavorts getting kind of pushed, their weapons pushed offline, and Ankarua doing a decent job here of keeping his opponent at bay. This guy does need to cloak out before he loses his weapons. Oddly, a little bit of miss micro here. I would expect this guy to cloak out right now, getting just away. And that's what happens when you don't do your micro, managing to lose it. And these guys now being forced to cloak out a little bit early, getting a little bit greedy, costs you a ship. So the Klingons fully into Cavort production. That is slowly, again, the fact that they are double, triple resourcing now. The Romulans, even though the Romulans got some good raids on the expansion, set them back a little bit. that will really work in the favor of the Klingons, managing that they got a couple kills out of it. I'm sure that they are sitting on just a cache of stuff. Now here, the fact that this nebula is actually so very small makes it less of a raid target than I was previously expecting. Still, again, I mean, if you're a raider, if you can get in here, you'll get some free kills off of these guys, but it does force you to... you can't just stay on the outside, so a drive-by, not as effective as my initial thinking was. So plenty to be discovered on this map, and here we have a Klingon uncloaked ship looking to have possibly brushed up against a dangerous nebula. And we have the Romulans going into their warbird yard, so sort of an early warbird build here as Klingons are moving into their battle yard. And we have, yeah, still tons of cohorts. These cohorts actually coming to a certain critical mass should start finding some kills if they could. Unfortunately, the Klingons are at sort of a lack of any sort of mobile cloak detect outside of their Borels and something in their battle yard, I believe. The manual targeting passive allows you to, once you have engaged in combat with the ship, it will remain visible to you. But over here we can see that this constructor getting absconded by these Lavals, as they have, you can see that the Lavals have their second level research up and running, and Ankarua really making a lot of raids here, getting just constantly raiding very